Hello children. In yesterday's class we have learned about the seasons of our country. And how many seasons we learned? Usually we have 3 seasons: summer, rainy and winter seasons. What are the 4 seasons that we have learned in the previous class? Yes, one is summer. We have also learned about winter, but there was a small changes of season. Instead of calling rainy, let us say it as advancing monsoons and then retreating monsoons. So overall we have 4 seasons based on the movement of the monsoons. Okay, what are they? Summer, winter, and when we are talking about rainy season, that can be divided into 2 phases of rainy season. One is advancing monsoons and the another one is retreating monsoons. Advancing monsoons, the arrival of monsoon winds and have lot of precipitation, good amount of rainfall. After pouring down of this precipitated form, the winds will be again moving back on its way back to the ocean. That is what called as retreating monsoons. So advancing monsoons and retreating monsoons. In advancing monsoons we see the winds are moving from sea to land. Yes, and retreating monsoons, which is leading that the winds are moving back to the oceans, or you can say seas, and immediately there is an entry of winter season. Okay, so what about winter season? The winds are moving from land to sea. Then how can you explain rainy season as the winds moving from sea to land, and the arrival of, or you can say the starting of the winter seasons as the retreating monsoons moving away from the land masses, the winds from northeast winds, that means from the central part of Asia, the winds will be coming and occupying the place over India, moving from land to sea. Do you remember, children, that I have said? In your slide number 4, you have seen that the pressures are high in the central part of Asia and the winds are attracted towards the water bodies. So the winds are moving from land to sea. So you must remember that the winds are just moving quite contrast during rainy season from sea to land and during winter season from land to sea. That's all. So let us just have a look over a map that is prevailing the common temperatures or the common amount of rainfall of these two, like monsoons, right, like advanced monsoons, and what is the another one is retreating monsoons. So let us have a look over this slide, then let us continue to the next concept of today's, that is about the climatic changes. Okay children, just look into slide number 1 of today's class. Yes, this is the onset of southwest monsoons, withdrawal of southwest monsoons. That is what I was trying to say. In map 3 you are seeing that it is advanced monsoons, and in map 4 you are seeing it as retreating monsoons. Did you understand? Withdrawal means what? Coming back from land to sea. Yes, that is how the arrival of winter seasons take place. Okay children, so this is what the a very short and brief recapitulation of the previous class. Now please come back to the board. Now let us see what is today's topic is, that is about global warming. And because of this global warming, there will be a drastic changes in the climatical conditions. In previous classes, even in your grade 9, we have learned that how do these climatical changes takes place, and different places, as you have seen in your climographs, the different places based on relief, based on latitude, and based on land and water relationship, and based on upper air circulation, the type of climate prevail over that region. But this will drastically change. That is because of the global warming. That is what we see in today's class. What is global warming? There should be a warmth over the earth. Is that important? Yes. No doubt we need that heat and warmth which supports the life on the earth. Without solar radiation or without that sun's heat, what we are getting from sun, if we don't retain, if earth is not having the ability to retain that heat, do you see or do you think that there will be a possibility of life on the earth? No, not at all. Whatever the plants, okay, and whatever the animals, even inside our body, we see that is a certain amount of heat is retained. If our body is completely cooled down, that means there is no life in that. That is what it indicates. So whatever the life is going on in this life process, heat and its importance is very much, because earth is having the capability of retaining that heat within it, the possibility of life is seen on the earth. Otherwise it would have become completely cold one, which is not suitable for existing life anymore. Did you understand? During the time of evolution of earth, as earth was a particle which has come from the sun, or if you just remember about a Big Bang theory, what was Big Bang theory? A huge burning ball just blasted, and all the particles of it got scattered and fragmented and thrown throughout a very vast space. And let us assume that all the particles are from that hot, or you can say burning ball. When sun is particle of that huge burning ball, so in this process we can see that smallest particle is what earth is. Like how you are seeing the other planets in solar system, still they are very hot, not suitable for life. Heat is important, but that extreme heat which is found in the other planets, again it is not supported or not suitable for life when there is no water at all. Did you understand? So once upon a time earth was also such kind of burning ball or gaseous, lot of harmful gases present in it, and it took maybe some millions and millions of years to cool down. How it got cooled down? All the heat what is seen in on the earth has been just emitted out into the space. Even in your grade 9 you have learned that, right? Even in grade 9 it was given condensation. During the time of condensation, and when water is getting evaporated and condensation, whatever the excess heat in air will be escaping into the space. So there is a possibility that whatever the heat is there on the earth will just that can be moving away into the space. But there is a possibility, because of the gravitational pull of earth, because the heat is escaping away into the space, it is cooling down earth, no doubt. But why not the complete heat was been lost over the earth? That is because of the gravitational pull. So earth, having a great gravitational pull, holded these many gases, what gases we are seeing at present on the earth. You just say about oxygen. Is oxygen not important? Very important. Without that, do we people exist? No. Without carbon dioxide, do vegetation exists? No, because all the plant flora that they are breathing, right? They are also breathing in and breathing out. Even the plant life, they breathe in carbon dioxide. We breathe in oxygen. So by this, what do we understand? Oxygen is important. Without carbon dioxide, there is no plant life on the earth, right? And if you just take example of other gases, take example of nitrogen. Nitrogen is also very important. Because of this nitrogen, whatever the nitrates has been fixed to the roots of the plant will give good proteins to the food what we are eating. Without nitrogen, there is no possibility of that kind of healthy food we are getting. By this, what do we understand? All the gases which are there on the earth, holded by because of the gravitational pull of the earth, is making life more possible and very kind of interconnected or interdependence each other. Whatever the life is there on the earth, it is completely interdependent. See, we are breathing in oxygen and breathing out carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is breathed by, that was being breathing in by plants and breathing out oxygen. So we are getting fresh air from plants. See, knowingly, unknowingly, we are completely interdependent on each other, and this is how the life seems to be too pleasant on the earth. If this heat, whatever the heat is there at present, is very suitable or very good, and it is also needed, without that heat there is no evaporation process will happen, there is no possibility of this upper air circulation happens, and whatever the seasons we are having, that is all because of the interconnected elements of atmosphere, and that heat is that important. But as I said, extreme heat, do it make possible of life much better? If I am saying heat is important to exist life on the earth, can I say that because of as heat is increasing, our lifestyle will become much better? No, absolutely not. If that is the case, on even other planets there should be existing life. That means, what do we understand? Whatever the heat is been holded or halted over the earth is very sufficient and more enough to have a better life on the earth. If this limits will exceed, what limits? That heat limits exceeds, then that will be a danger, no doubt at all. Okay, and whatever the heat has been holded over the earth and making the possibility of life, which is called as greenhouse effect. So by this, what do we understand? Greenhouse is something having greenery over the earth is suitable, it's good. But this greenhouse effect is increasing, means what? That means temperatures are gradually increasing. If there is no limitation of growing heat, then it will be dangerous. See, when you are not feeling well, you take some medicine. If you take the dose of medicine is more, then it will be having reaction. Yes or no? Anybody have you tried that? Yeah, taking more and more quantities, because taking that medicine, or maybe it is a tonic, or maybe it is a syrup, because if I'll take, my health will be come into condition. So do I take that in more doses? No. So it will give you the reaction, and in return, to become better, your health will spoil. That means whatever is good for you, that should be in that certain limits. That's what I was trying to say, that whatever the heat we see on the earth, like solar energy trapped keeps warm, which is called as greenhouse effect, it is good. Without this heat or warmth, what we can see on the earth, if in the absence of this, there will be no life is possible on the earth. So it is good, and we start emitting out lot of heat is very dangerous. It becomes harmful even to a plant. Fertilizers you sprinkle, plant will grow healthy. If you will use more quantities of fertilizers, what happens? In the next day itself, plant will be, you will be seeing plant is no more existing. It's already gone, damaged, no more life. So this is also this in the same way that greenhouse effect is to that extent is okay, but if that effect is increasing, then that condition is called as global warming. What it is called as? Global warming. This global warming means what? The temperatures are increasing. That means greenhouse effect is increasing, leading to global warming. And global warming is not at all a good indication, because whatever the frozen part of water, that means frozen part of fresh water reserves are there, those all will be melting down and down, and what happens in future, there will be no enough sufficient water for the coming generations. When whatever the frozen part gets melted down, do our continents will be existing anymore? The major part of continents will be just, yes, they will be drowned. Do you remember Indira Point? Yes, Indira Point was also one of the small island. Do you remember that? Yeah, because of one of the disaster took place of, do you remember that about tsunami that we have discussed in 2004 it occurred? Indira Point submerged. That means the level of water increased. Did you understand? When the level of water increases, the land part will gradually gone under the water levels. Then just I leave it for you to think, imagine why this global warming is happening in these days, especially if you just observe children during the time of world wars. You know about world wars, right? So how the world wars were going on, using all kind of nuclear materials. We know that it is not at all good. It is very harmful to the environment, but still we use, because we want to satisfy our ego and we want to be always victorious. What is your victory is coming to? Are you going to have your life on the earth? That is what. So not only this, population is increasing, population is just growing and growing. When population is increasing, whatever the goods we required, demand is also increasing. So obviously production becomes more speeded up, and that led to industries, number of industries set up. So this is what revolution. There was a revolution in the field of industries. That means there was a rapid growth. It was a boom of production in the world countries, started from around 19th century. 18th century industrial revolution already started, but that was been reached to its peak by 19th century. Almost all countries have come up with this industrial part. That means more number of industries coming up, setting up of new industries. What happens? More and more industries, using more and more fuels, releasing out more and more smoke and effluents, leading to pollution, leading to more pollutants in the air. This pollutants, what happens? They will hold more heat. Okay, so when they are holding more and more heat, it is leading to global warming. Whatever the pollutants is nothing but carbon dioxide, right? What is the carbon dioxide work? Yes, carbon dioxide that will be used for plant life. And if you just see, if you remember your structure of atmosphere and composition of atmosphere, then you will remember that how much very less percentage of carbon dioxide is present on earth, and that little percentage of carbon dioxide is enough because to hold warm, to hold that heat which is required on the earth. But because of we people, our greediness and our high development of our intellectual things, this all is making developments we are saying, but really are we developing? But unfortunately, when we are developing, we are degrading the environment. That means whatever the pollution is increasing on the earth, who are the culprits? We are the culprits. So whatever the global warming is happening these days, that is all because of anthropogenic global warming. What is the meaning of this anthropogenic? Human beings. Okay children, so that is what in short we can call it as AGW, anthropogenic global warming. That means whatever the global warming is happening on the earth is, the main culprits are we. God has given everything to us to lead a peaceful and healthy life, but what we are doing, because of our greediness, we are extracting more and more from the environment, and which is resulting out in a pollution in the form of leading to the global warming, which is harming the environment. Who are affected ultimately? We all only will be affected very badly because of this global warming. Nowadays, even scientists they could discover that there is a layer of methane under the frozen tundra regions. You know, tundra regions, the major part of the year that will be frozen, the land will be frozen, there will be permafrost, you know that. That means for long period of time that layer of water is completely permanently getting frosted, and it is kind of a rock. Nowadays, because of this global warming, what is happening? Those all is getting melting down. And melting down is one of the danger thing, is no doubt. That means fresh water reserves are reducing and sea level is increasing, which is dangerous. Not only that, under this, whatever this we have seen the frozen part, under that we have observed, that means scientists could discover that a kind of methane is found under the layers of this tundra, the frozen part. If this all frozen part is melting down, what is the danger? Fresh water is no more. Then the second danger thing is sea level is increasing. Not only that, when it is getting melted down, methane will, what happens, that all methane will come and join into the atmosphere. When this methane is joining into the atmosphere, is again the danger part is increasing. It is increasing the heat in the air, methane. Then what happens when this methane is released out of this frozen part? The danger will gradually increases and increases. When methane is increasing the temperature of our atmosphere, then what happens? When atmosphere is and its temperature is increasing because of releasing of this methane, little more part of frozen will be melted down. Little more frozen part will be melted down. Again methane will be released out. Are you understanding what is the chain of this global warming? Yes. So we must be very intelligent and intellectual, make ourselves realize the things and make the people also know about these facts, and we should accept it, because these are the facts. These are the facts that we have to accept it, which is going on. Right children? So what happens now? Whatever the air circulations, whatever I have explained you, right? Upper air circulations and how the changes of movement of the winds, and whatever we have learned, because of various conditions or reasons, the winds are blowing in that certain directions. This is the complete setup is already there, and every time whatever the seasons we are getting, that is all because of these movements. And this phenomenon is happening in the environment by itself. That is the mechanism of the environment, okay, the movements and the changing of the weather conditions, that all will happen. That is a regular phenomenon. But when we are leading this kind of global warming, or our habits or our intentions are creating this new problem as global warming, then whatever the natural phenomenon is happening in the environment, that will completely change. Then whatever the present, the way we are living and the way we are leading our life, that will get gradually changed. Have you observed that these days the temperatures are gradually increasing? If you compare last year's summer temperatures and this year's summer temperatures, now it is rainy season is going on, but still we are feeling too hot, as if the temperatures are as if in the summer. This is all the effects of this global warming. So we should be opened our eyes, we should understand and we should obey the facts, so that we try to rectify our mistakes. That is what the world countries were trying, that whatever AGW was happening was leading to climatic change, that world countries already realized. They have come to know. No doubt every country of the world, they started talking about this and they started taking initiative steps so that this can be brought under control. So for that they have formed one organization which is called as IPCC. What is the meaning of IPCC? International effort has been taken, and this agency or this organization was called as Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. An organization established, all world countries became the members of this organization, and they started discussing about this, and every country have accepted and realized that yes, climate change is happening drastically, that is because of global warming. So for that they need to take the very initiative steps, and all the countries who were the members of this organization have discussed about this. They have decided that there should not be any more too much of effluents released into the air from industries, which is really leading to this kind of global warming. Or they also have decided that the number of industries are increasing and increasing day by day, that should be under control. They discussed and they have decided, but who are following? Nobody are following. That means whatever the organization formed and they discussed and decided gone failed. It was not effective at all. Recently once again there was a conference held by this IPCC at Warsaw, capital of Poland, in the year 2013. That means quite very recent. But that meeting or that conference, whatever they decided to get initiated with the things, also failed. That means we are forming the organizations, we are trying to do the initiative, but every country is bothered about their own development, and it is a kind of competition scenario among the world countries. Do I am more powerful, or do they are powerful? They are growing more and more, they are developing more and more. I must, or my country must develop more than this, develop more than the other countries, world countries. This competition is leading to not stick to the decisions which were taken in these conferences. No countries bothered to stick to that rules and regulations. Then the developed countries and developing countries, here there are two different countries. Let us have the categorization. All the developed countries, now they started pointing out to the developing countries, saying that you want to develop more and more and you are taking up more and more industries. You people are using large quantities of this coal and petroleum, which is leading to lots and lots of effluents and polluting the environment. Who is saying? Developed countries. They started criticizing over developing countries. Now developing countries, they have their own explanation. They says that you people are already developed, so you people are in safe side. In future anything happens, we should also be able to cope up with the thing. See, do we have expected anything that we will have any kind of a war with our neighboring countries, this and that? But every country wants to be in their own place, in a settled one, and they want to be maintaining that safety and securities for the future generations. And obviously each and every country have their own problems, they have their own goals to reach, and developing countries are not ready to compromise with this kind of giving up of industries. If suppose one country is ready, do other countries also following the same? No. So this is what, there is an argument started between developed countries and developing countries. What is the ultimate solution of this? When developed countries criticizing developing countries, is that right? Instead of criticizing them, however, developing countries are insecure because of their undevelopment yet. Some kind of help or aid to be given by these developed countries to developing countries, yes or no? If developed countries assure that you don't worry, I will take care of this all, I have so many things with me, do any one developed country is giving assurance to developing countries? No. Then obviously developing countries will be just running with their own motives and targets to reach, because ultimately their people cannot be the sufferers, yes or no? So that is what the dispute and clashes between developed countries and developing countries. But for the sure, though these arguments going on, though this criticism is going on, but still the world countries have not come to the conclusion, or they have not come to stick to the norms decided based on IPCC, and that been still getting ignored. And it is too pitiable a situation that we know the facts, but still we are not ready to take the initiative steps. So this is very, very bad. This is going to lead a disastrous future, yes or no? Yes. So overall, that we want to just conclude today's session saying that AGW is rapid or drastically going on and leading to climate change, and that is the fact. That is the fact. And one of the important factor is deforestation is adding up this problem. Okay, if we at least control this deforestation and we take up the afforestation, this problem of global warming may be controlled for some extent. So that is what the major concern about. So before leaving, let me show you the slides. As I have said, methane under frozen tundras. Just look into slide number 2. Yes, look into slide number 2. As you are seeing, that is a permafrost, and it's getting melted down because of the effect of methane. And this is getting melting down. That means more and more ethane is adding to atmosphere. Yes or no? And again, it is leading to the situation more and more worsen, no doubt. So that is slide number 2. And slide number 3 is, you know what is that? What is that, children? Yes, it is deforestation. Deforestation is becoming too common. We know that it is one of the important factor for this global warming, and we are just taking it very light, and we are not taking that it is a major concern and that should be compulsorily followed to restrict this deforestation. Since years onwards, from the time of Britishers, deforestation is going on and on and on. We got independence, but still the deforestation is always continuing, and finally we are standing at a place which is the extreme condition of global warming scenario. Now please come back to the board. Hope you have understood the class, children. Yes, and in the next class I'll just continue with the topic of this lesson, and we'll just conclude and wind up the chapter in the next part itself. So hope you have understood, and I'll give you some creative work for today's homework. Hope you will do it on time and get ready for the next session. Thank you.